Well, I misunderstood what I was doing yesterday, and as a result of that, I have 6 sides, which are good for 3 boxes, not one. What I should have been doing was spacing 2 of these out and putting additional slats going up along the frame right there, not inserting and securing into the framing, which pretty much throws off the measurements and everything else. So I'm going to start finding some more boards, start getting things set up. But figured I'd let you know where I was at, and it does explain the issues I was having with putting that together. So yeah, all right. Okay, so I've gotten the one wall handled and in place. This is loose. I'm literally just using it to make sure that my gap stays the same between the framing as I'm going up. Started off with my bottom piece, made sure that it was squared out on the edges, trying to keep everything as uniform as I can. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shift that all the way up to the end. Or I'm not going to shift it all the way up to the end. But I'm using it to basically make sure that as I'm going, I'm staying as flush as I can and keeping everything straight. But when this is said and done, this will be the smoker, or part of it. Once I'm done here, the plan is to run the same kind of slatting, just work my way down to seal off the bottom. And then I'm going to have to do a little bit of cleanup around the top edges, get rid of any overhang that I might have, make sure it's squared out, and I'm able to go ahead and start getting dimensions for what I'm going to need to make a lid. Then it's on to putting in runners for racks and building racks, which not trying to get into that until I know exactly what I'm dealing with. So literally doing this one step at a time. And this is where I'm at. Okay, so this is a look at the inside. Still got to get the outer edge pieces on the 2 walls done, but I need to get the actual size of that because the ones that I have pre-cut are just a little bit too long, and I need to trim back a little bit on the edges. Then I got to figure out the lid, get the rack supports ran, which thinking 3, so it'll probably be like 1 down here, which will be probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches off of the bottom, and then 2, probably about every other gap in the boards from there, just so that it's not sitting on the bottom. Gives us a little bit of room to work with and remove if we want to, so that we can adjust depth. But that's where we're at. Okay, so I've gone through, done my little bit of trimming, cut down the boards that I needed to finish off the sides. So the bottom part itself is now complete. And now I got to start getting measurements and figuring out how exactly to go about the lid, for lack of better wording. But this is what we're looking at so far. Okay, so Mr. Brown went ahead and got me more boards for the door. Got all the pieces I should need for that part ready, but got a little distracted going through and finding the boards that we're going to be using in the house for the sliding barn doors that'll go over the pantry and the steps going upstairs, which we've been pretty much digging around in here trying to find the appropriate boards, trying to avoid boards with excessive damage from one thing or another, and the appropriate length, which the longer they are the better for this purpose at the moment, because we're going to be looking at about just a little over 89 inches for the length of the door. But for these, we're actually going to cut them down to the appropriate width, and then we're going to run them through and split them in half, because we have length requirements or thickness requirements when it comes down to the hanger systems. So I'm going to try and get as many boards out of them as we can, so that we can hopefully get the doors done in a similar fashion to what we did for the bedroom doors. But figured I'd let you know where I was at. Mr. Brown had to go on a run, so I'm going to try and get what I can done for the door or lid door for the smoker while I have a few minutes, and then when he gets back, I'm probably going to be helping him with the splitting. So yeah. Okay, so I've marked these two because I shouldn't have torn this apart yet. When the door is done, I'm going to have this left. So if I space it, providing I can, one-handed, so if I space it, square it up, and come back to the center, this is what I've got. Trying to cut that out of this piece, doable. However, if I try, I'm probably going to basically just split this apart and be left at square one again. So, by taking a little bit off of each, I can actually make them to where they'll interlock. I'll have a little bit more room to staple them and secure them properly. And then I'm going to have to get a couple more pieces so that these are squared out on the ends to actually finish this off. But it took me way longer to figure that part out than it should have. So A little bit frustrating, but getting there. All that frustration for that gap. Oh, the joys. But that's what I'm dealing with right now. I still got to figure out, or I've already talked to Mr. Brown about the best way to go about the handles, because this will be the front of the smoker. The handles are going to run down the sides. There are going to be two of them on each side, one toward the top, one toward the bottom, to make it to where lifting it up and more than likely using these sawhorses to set it on won't be as bad. Not going to be lifting this over mine and whoever is helping me at the moment's heads. It'll just be grab it lower, lift a little bit over waist high, and set it down. But that's the current situation.
Alright, everybody. So nobody's really gotten to see that the girls, well, the chicks, they're not all girls, have made it into the barn. The barn coop has been finished up and buttoned up. You can see they have plenty of room in here to run around and play.
It took me like 5 minutes to spread all the stuff around, but I kept tripping over stuff.
They just spread it around themselves.
Yeah, I was bored.
And they're all running around. So, you can see Mike got all of the wiring done. Boarded off the laying area for now until we can get it finished up. The important part was to get them inside because it was getting so cold out. We do have a heat lamp in here, however, of course, the bulb blew. But I don't know how much you guys can see. The wiring up there is all finished and wired together. And the duck is in here with the chicks, just like she was out in the other pen. And they got plenty of hay and sawdust in here. Got their feeder hanging out in the corner over here, so they have plenty of room to eat. But it dawned on me that you guys hadn't really gotten to see the coop finished, so I thought I'd come out and give you a look. I'll check in with you guys later. Hi everybody, Piper and I just wanted to get on and do a quick closing out for the video. They did get the smoker pretty much done yesterday. Now we just got to get all the working parts together. Or today, I guess today's video. Last night is when it was recorded. But Piper wanted to say hi. You gonna blow kisses? Say And I know everybody likes to get a look at Piper once in a while, so we thought we'd pop in and tell everybody to have a great day, and we'll catch you on tomorrow's video.